In order to move to a new economic model, such as the steady-state economy, there needs to be a demand for a shift away from the current economic growth model. The first step is to get informed about the steady-state economy model and the effects of the current economic growth model.
We will need to move to a quite different set of ethics and values. And this will give rise to a form of economy which is called a steady-state economy, which is being introduced to you by John Peet as well. The notion of a steady-state economy and all of the rest of human activity that goes with it must be based on a quite different set of ethics. These are ethics that, first of all, recognise that human beings are a part of nature and are not here to exploit it. In other words, all human activity is a part of the ecosystems of the biosphere. And we want the biosphere to be stable, to be resilient, not to be destroyed, because we are a part of it. As soon as human beings have that ethic, have that reality view clearly in mind, then a lot of change can take place. So it's respect for nature and recognising that we are a part of nature ourselves and all of our activities, including our economy. That's a part of nature also. And so we're a part of all the ecosystems. As soon as we see that, our behaviour will, in my view, change quite radically. As well as that, we need to move away from the idea that we are, if you like, sovereign individuals. We are not. Human beings are interdependent with each other, quite obviously, actually, but we need to have that point of view very clearly in mind. And human beings are also interdependent with all of the other living things, all of the other parts of nature. Human beings who are living according to strong sustainability, for a start, will live knowing that they are a part of natural ecosystems and will mould and adjust everything that they do to recognise that point. So there will be systems of government at the international level, national level, and at community level, and I might say especially at the community level, which require or provide frameworks for those adjustments to take place. In terms of our economic activity, rather than having measures based upon growth and material wealth, as though that means success, we'll have measures which relate to undertaking our economic activities within those boundaries which result in the ecosystems of which we're a part remaining healthy and resilient. So that is there. This will have huge effects on what human beings gain their happiness and satisfaction from. Much less from material goods and much more from interacting with people, various forms of community activity, perhaps more personal introspection, but our lifestyles will change substantially. One of the benefits of this is almost certainly that communities will become much more vibrant, active and enjoyable. So rather than living in communities which are in many cases not much more than dormitories so that you can sleep there overnight and work away at a weekend on your lawn and so on, but you have your life somewhere else, your working life anyway and a sporting life somewhere else. There'll be much more going on for individuals within communities. There'll be a much reduced requirement to travel. If we're getting more of our satisfaction and sense of well-being from being in the communities will form so that within reasonable proximity to where you live, most of what you want to do with your life will be right there. Of course, the increases in the costs of energy will provide a strong economic incentive for that anyway, and so we'll see much more mass transportation, public transport, use of bicycles, small electric vehicles and so forth. Processes of globalisation that we believe we've enjoyed so much over the past 20 years or so are even as we speak beginning to wind down substantially. And as we move more and more towards strong sustainability, they'll decline even further. There will be still some international trade because the the theory of comparative advantage will still be alive and well. But nevertheless, the main point for every part of the globe and the globe as a whole is to live within its ecosystem boundaries. And that will mean, I believe, less trade and more production of the essential goods and services, those that we really need, closer to where we live. All of the energy that we need will be produced in a renewable way. A radical change in our financial systems. Our current financial systems are, of course, based on, will require continual growth in order to maintain their integrity. In a strongly sustainable world, there can be no continuous growth.
I think something like that has to happen, and I hope it does, and that's why I'm here. That's why our group has been working in this way for several years to work, and that's why what most of us want. Whether it will happen, I really don't know. As I indicated, we have two alternatives. One is a hard but a careful and well-planned transition to a sustainable, steady-state society. The other is going through catastrophe to reach it because we have to. But out of catastrophe, what happens? Unfortunately, peace and justice aren't usually the first outcomes of catastrophe. Fascism and militarism usually are. So I have to say that I have bad dreams as well as good ideals, good fantasies about the future. I don't think they're fantasies actually, I think they're dreams, and I believe they are possible. But only if we can get our collective act together and actually start looking to the future of our grandchildren instead of immediate gratification of ourselves.
Start the debate and discussion now about economic alternatives. Stop accepting the way that we live now is something we cannot change. Because we can.